I'm David. I'm Director of UX at Grafana, and I'm going to show you how to become a Grafana contributor. And I personally, a year ago, I was, yeah?
So,
yeah,
like that?
Well, that's true, yeah. Thank you, yeah, that works. So a year ago, I was a Grafana contributor before joining Grafana, and so now I'm there too, and I kind of want to show you how you can get started too. And I have kind of an alternative title for this, which is the reluctant contributor, because usually you see some issues within Grafana and you think, oh man, like, if only someone fixed this, and maybe the issue has been there for a while, and I think this is like your calling, right? Like you could be that person, because there may be other people out there who are facing the exact same issue, and you could be their hero, right? So it could be documentation, even, right? Maybe you found an issue, or you found a workaround for something, and it wasn't really documented in a doc. So it might make sense to open a PR just on the docs, and you don't really need anything, right? You can just you can just use GitHub itself. Well, I guess you need a GitHub account. I guess anyone here who doesn't have a GitHub account? Okay, yeah, I would have been surprised. Cool. So that's good. For the documentation, there's really no excuse then if you have a GitHub account, and the docs that you see on the website, they're directly from the Grafana repo. So for example, this LDAP markdown document, any changes you put in there, once we publish the docs, then everyone gets to benefit from your contribution. For bigger changes, we recommend doing a design doc. There's this one issue about localizing time formats. Does anyone have this issue where they think like the American time format is just stupid and they want to have the, okay. Yeah, so you're not alone. You can already tell there's 73 comments, so it's kind of popular. But then we started talking about this, and the issue kind of became a bit bigger, and then at that point, it's probably good to have a sort of design document. And we're getting into the habit of creating these more and more now. For example, there's one public for the real-time data source plugin, and yeah, everyone's invited to like, give feedback there, because then once we decide to go forward with something, then it'll be a solution that's hopefully accommodating everyone. But the small things that you encounter maybe that I was talking about earlier, I think those are the ones that I want to really encourage you to contribute as well. And the process that we're going to use is FOR, which basically stands for finding the issue first, or creating it if it's not really there, and then you claim it by just saying, I have this issue, and I really want to, I have an idea, and I want to work on this. And then, just by virtue of you commenting on this, you sort of claiming it, and I guess you can go ahead. And then the next thing you're going to do is fork the repo, clone it, or like add the remote, and then set up your development environment. And then you get to the fixing step, where you try to reproduce it first, because maybe it's already fixed in master. And then ideally you also write a test and fix it. And then the last step is for the pull request, you commit your fix, you push to a remote, and you open the PR. Okay, so we're about a couple of minutes in, so we have some time left to like do this live. For this issue here, let's have a quick look what it is. So it's an explore issue. Metric name is not clickable, so let's have a look. This is for the drill down and the sort of live filtering that I was demoing yesterday. And for some reason, name or everything that's under name cannot be clicked on. So I think this probably would be useful to other people too. So let's just claim this. I have that issue too. Oh my god. Cool. All right. And I guess since I'm at Grafana, usually we do something like this here. Assign yourself. Okay. Cool. So what was the next step? We have to fork it, right? So I've done this yesterday. So I just basically just click fork, and then under my DevCal user, a Grafana repo appears, and then I can clone it. So I've done this here. I was just using go-get because Grafana is kind of integrates in the Go ecosystem as well. So this probably went through, so I can cd into this directory. And then I got to do a couple of things. Either you can like look in the README, or I tend to just look at makefiles. Install some Go dependencies. Let's go. See what happens. Okay. That's good. Oh, that worked. Okay. Make Go build. Was that a step? No. Build Go. Build Go. Aha, something didn't work. So I think I've had this before, and I think even on an earlier one, the make debs go didn't even work.
I think the setup actually built it already, so you will have a binary.
Okay. Really?
Just maybe a problem with that make.
Okay. So this is a bit of a shame because it didn't really work yesterday because of the Go import paths, and because I cloned the fork, which is kind of the mistake I wanted to just run into to show you that it doesn't work this way. Okay, but I guess that somehow it still worked for some reason. Anyway. So what we recommend instead is cloning the main the repo just from Grafana, like the Grafana/Grafana. And then you end up with this path, GitHub.com Grafana, and then what you add is the remote, right? So you would do git remote, add, and then add DevCal. Let's do DevCal2, and then it's and then I can just copy this thing here. All right. So git remotes, everything's there. Because I added a remote earlier, just to try it out. Cool. That's all working. That's good. Doesn't really matter that we have these two there now. What do we need to do? What else do we need to do? So we've on this thing I have run already. Make Go deps and Go build, so there's a binary. The important thing, hold on, I should probably make this a tiny bit bigger. So let's just run this. We have a runner called bra, which detects if there's any file changes in the Go paths. So if you modify any of the Go sources, it recompiles and then restarts the Grafana server. So let's just run this, and there's already some errors here. Things didn't work because too many open files. I guess there's a lot of Go files in there, so we need to raise the limit here to this thing, and we've got a server running, so that's cool. So this is just the Grafana server, and now we need to also build the front end or have a process that does a similar thing to basically watch what's happening. Before we can do this, we also need to install all the node dependencies, and we've got a cool thing here called make node modules. That just went really quickly because it's dependent on the yarn locks. So if anything changes there, if you switch branches, then you just do this, and I don't know, just speeds everything up. So it looks like everything's there. If we do, that's a new thing here, yarn start hot. That starts the developer server under port 333. So, because if I just went now to localhost 3000, there's just nothing there because I haven't built the front end yet, right? But now what I'm doing is I'm building the front end for the developer server, the Webpack dev server, which also watches any TypeScript changes, and then does a hot reload. So I'm already 5 minutes in. I haven't even touched the issue. I haven't even reproed. So how far are we here? This looks good. Aha, all right, yeah, it loaded. Okay, so we see everything. And now I probably need to look again. Need a Prometheus data source. Probably have that, and then I just do these steps here. Just quickly see if I have a Prometheus data source. Ah, yeah, I got a couple. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so, and then I just go to Explorer. Prometheus local. I start with job equals Grafana, I guess. And then lo and behold, this thing is not clickable. Okay. These things are. Okay. So now I've done now I'm in the fix phase. So I can reproduce the issue. I can't click in the name column. And now I can start debugging, right? I can try to find out what's different. And perhaps there's something about __ name that's being filtered out, right? So this is like my first hunch. So I'm just going to go to code base now. I use VS Code here, and I'm going to look for __ name, just anywhere really here. And there's a lot going on here. Maybe that's not a good approach. Let's try again. Let's look for. There's probably something in the markup that's different here. So let's just look at. Let's bring up the developer tools. See what's happening here. There's a link class applied. Okay. That's applied there, but it's probably. It's not applied here. Okay. So some things applying link classes. And let's just do this. See if we get anywhere there. Table. And there's a link class applied if something's filterable. Okay, so we're going through the table models columns to see if certain things are filterable, and it seems like the __ name wasn't marked as filterable. Okay, so I think we're onto something. Let's quickly do this here. Filterable looks really good now. And it looks like, since we were working on a Prometheus data source, it's probably in this thing here. And, okay. Filterable is only applied if it doesn't start with __. Okay, well, that's super annoying. Okay. So we found the thing. Now I can switch over to like this view, and then luckily there is a test here. And I guess we really want filterable in here. let's just try filterable true. See if that works. So this is a partial matcher. If filterable is there, then that's still good. So we can run a test here. So I conveniently have this in the history. So now we're still in the fixing phase, right? We reproduced it. We found the correct test. That was nice that there was a test already. We just had to modify it. It's still passing if we're adding filterable to anything that's not starting with __. But if we add this here, let's see what happens. The Jest detects that there was a file change. It runs only this test because I gave it only that path. And there we go. All right, we found the issue. We really want __ name to be filterable. Okay, so now we can just do this thing. All right, because we want everything there to be filterable. So now, just to for good measure, there's something special about the values, right, in a table. So I probably want filterable in here to be false or not present. So I would. There's really, I can't really do this with the matcher right now. So I would probably do another line here where I'm saying table or columns. And then, oh, this is annoying. I'm gonna figure out which element this is. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Dot filterable dot is undefined. Oh, not to be undefined. So let's see if that still passes. That takes a long time for this little thing to just run. Damn, okay, that's good. So that was that step. Then we're super happy with what we did. We can quickly see what we changed here. Probably should create a branch. I like to do this thing. Also good practice for everyone is to reference the PR, the issue that we're fixing here. So it's like fix this thing. Adding. So, and what's going to happen now is we're going to run some pre-commit hooks to see if what you typed is any good or has any, or well, there's also automatic formatting, right, happening, so that everyone will kind of get the same TypeScript. So it is going to run a while, and then I can push it to the remote, and then I can open the PR, and other people can and then we get to review it, right? And then
6 months later.
Yeah, 6 months later. So the important thing here is that I went really fast with just keyword searches or searches around this around the problem basically, and the main point there is that you shouldn't be afraid of committing or contributing anything just because you don't understand all of Grafana, right? So you were contributing while even changing a little test. This should be enough for you to be happy and be so you should have a feeling this was something good. And then it's our job, Torkel's and my job and Peter's, to look at the PR and consider this in the wider Grafana software project, right? So, but yeah, we really want to encourage you to just do that first step. Cool. That was it. Yeah. Any questions? Yeah.
Did you actually fix it?
I thought I did. Hold on. Oh, yeah, I mean, what are you talking about? Tests were passing. Okay, hold on. Let's have a look.
What about the part where you ask why it was in the code where
Look at this.
underscore pretty explicitly called out?
There seems to be a reason.
Yeah. So I think so. Yeah. So this is where actually then we look at this stuff, and this particular one would have ended up on my desk probably, and then I would have noticed, yeah, this was a relic from before us implementing this faceting logic, where you can start with basically any label, and then also break down by something like name later. Yeah. And then I would have totally thumbs up this thing. Yeah. Cool. Cool. Thanks. Second?
I was just going to ask, like,
Yeah.
what if, okay, because I totally would not have checked that in, because if there was a test that said you shouldn't do that. so let's say I really wanted to do it, but I felt like I should ask somebody, would I do that in the Slack channel maybe? Like, I want to fix this bug, but there's this, should I just say it, or?
Yeah, so if it's like a really small issue, and there is already, so the reason why I was so confident there was that there was already a test that I had to modify something really small and to reproduce the issue, and also to make the test fail, and then I had to just do a really small change within the code. So and that sort of, I don't know, maybe I'm just overly optimistic.
I would look at it and be like, ooh, I don't get it.
But
Okay.
But if you're unsure of a change, I mean, we look at every comment almost on every issue.
Yeah.
So if you sort of want to make a change, you're not sure if this is, you can also ask on the issues and on Slack.
Yeah.
Was that a real example, or was that an artificial example you just made?
Say again?
Was that was staged though? That
No,
example?
no, this was a real bug. This was a real issue.
Why? But we don't know what the intentions were of the original person who put.
So I know Julian. He's been posting lots of. He's been like an early adopter of Explorer, and he's been giving me tons of feedback. And this was one of the issues that we had left that we just hadn't addressed yet. Yeah,
But do you know why someone put that, like, don't put underscore?
that was me. Yeah, I put that there. So no. So yeah, this was from a time before we had this faceting logic, where you always had to start with a metric name, and then in my world, it just didn't make sense to be able to click again on the metric name, because the metric name was already part of the query. But now with this faceting, you can start with any label and then like insert the metric later. Yeah. So yeah, I guess I could have run a little blame, and then my name would have popped up, and yeah. Yeah.
So on the pre-check-in, I saw when you were doing commit, there was a pre-check-in. Is there a setup for doing the pre-check-in?
It will.
We have a lot of issues with pre-check-ins.
It will be applied automatically.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, if you can still see this. So like the pre-check worked, and so now I'm in a commit message, right? And then there I would say like adding link to names.
And please refer to the issue here, and this sort of fixes dash or hashtag and the issue name, issue number.
Cool. All right.
How do we get all those commands in our terminal history?
Oh, that's a good. Well, yeah, just
You just have to do it before.